All right, guys, I want to welcome you to the Do Work Podcast. The Do Work Podcast, a weekly podcast. We talk about all things mindset, entrepreneurship, free thinking. Free thinking is crucial for me. Free thinking. We talk about becoming the best version of ourselves possible. And tonight's no different. Tonight's no different. So tonight's podcast is coming from a very personal place. In life, we all go through seasons. We all go through well, as they like to say, winters or summers. So our summers, when we talk about life, are our amazing seasons where everything is just so easy and it's a piece of cake. And our winters are our grind time. They're our struggle season. They're our season to overcome. And I must say, I am personally, what's up, Instagram? What's up, TikTok? I am personally going through a hell of a winter right now. At least it feels like a winter. But the thing is this. We talk a lot about how to manage stress, how to stay focused. And one of the things I've been doing, trying to manage my stress and to manage this winter I am going through, is finding ways to just deal, finding ways to be. And one thing that grounds me, and I will say this over and over again till we're blue in the face, is fitness. If I didn't work out or if I didn't hit the heavy bag, I would be a raging lunatic. Fitness has always been awesome, has always grounded me, always kept me just centered and focused, especially when I'm trying to really get after it. I'm trying to really grind. I'm trying to really go hard because when you're in that season, there's no time for rest. There's no time for breaks. There's no pause. So there's a saying that goes, don't stop when you want to quit, like stop when you're done. So sometimes you have to go through and really push through these obstacles and these challenges because there, if you don't, you won't get better. You will not improve. So there's like two types of stress in this world, right? There's two types of stress. There is good stress and bad stress. So for me, I break down good stress and bad stress simply like this. Good stress is essentially stressors that, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like they challenge you, but they bring out the best in you. Like getting a new job, yes, it's stress. It's a new stress. Your kids have a great day to graduate. Of course, it's a good thing, but it's stressful. Planning parties, stressful, right? I know I'm being a little frivolous with those things, but good things, when they give you stress, when good things give you stress, you're like, man, this just sucks, but God, it's so worth it. This is going to be amazing. Okay. So then there's like this bad stress. Okay. So for me, I think about bad stressors as this. Bad stressors for me are stressors that could potentially break me and destroy me. Like say I have a bad month financially. That's something that could break me and destroy me. Say something happens in my relationship. That's something that could potentially break me and destroy me. Like bad stresses are the ones where you almost cannot see the end of the tunnel. You can't see the light at the end of the tunnel because you're being consumed by all the bad stress around you. So perspective is key on this. Perspective is key, right? So good stress and bad stress essentially is all the same. Yo, what's up, Instagram? What's up, TikTok? How y'all doing? Good stress and bad stress is essentially all the same. The difference is simply how you look at it. It's just how you look at it, how you perceive what you're going through, your mindset. And I know we talk a lot about mindset on the Do Work podcast, and we talk a lot about it on Instagram and all that stuff, but your mindset is the difference between you winning and losing. Now, just so we're clear, I'm not telling you to be delusional, okay? I am not telling you by any means to be delusional, okay? Sometimes we have to take L's. Sometimes taking those L's, those losses, are necessary to our growth and development. You know what I'm saying? But understand, I'm not telling you to be delusional. Know when you get an L, because trust me, I've taken some L's. I've taken some very nasty ones, and that's what it is. It's happened. Okay, it's 100% happened. But the way you look at things, the way you perceive things, It is what is going to help you get through. So a lot of you and a lot of people I've worked with and a lot of people I encounter on a daily basis, when things go wrong, they automatically think the worst. Now, if that's you, put a thumbs up in the comments. As soon as something go wrong, you're thinking the worst thing possible. Your world has ended. That's not the way to look at things. Even in the worst situations possible, we have to think about opportunity. We have to think about possibility. When things fall apart, I always look for how can I possibly get out of this? How can I possibly make this better? How can I possibly improve this? What can I do to work on this and move forward? You know what I mean? So when it comes to perspective and dealing with problems and managing stress, a lot of it is our perspective. 100% of it is our perspective, because most of us automatically go towards the negative perspective. Yo, you know what's crazy? It is so easy to be negative. It is so easy to be negative. It's so easy to be like, oh man, that's not going to work. It's so easy to be like, oh, they don't like me. Or it's so easy to be negative and down on yourself. Positivity is hard. Positivity is hard. And I'm going to tell you why it's hard. Positivity is hard because it requires you to shift your mindset. It requires you to be optimistic. It requires you to see possibilities. And a lot of people can't do that. They can't even process that. You ever ask somebody? So, two things made me think of this, right? Usually, when people greet each other, you ever have somebody greet you? And I really want you to understand the importance of energy and perspective, right? You ever had somebody greet you? You be at work or somewhere, and the first thing they say is, "You look tired," or "You look like shit." Oh wow, you look like you had a rough night. Like, and I've had that happen to me. And honestly, nothing was wrong. I didn't have a rough night. I didn't even know what they were talking about. So when that happens, if you absorb those words and that energy, all of a sudden you're like, well, damn, did I have a rough night? Do I look like shit today? Like, what's going on? And a lot of times it's people trying to make small talk and conversation. But words have power. So whenever somebody comes up to me and is like, oh, you had a rough night, or you had a rough night, I'm like, no, actually, I had an amazing evening. And I just shut it down. I've learned to shut down negativity right off the bat. And a lot of times it's not that people really mean you any harm. It's small talk. But you control what you absorb, and words have power. Words have power. So when somebody comes up to me and they're like, and they come like, oh, this is a crappy day. First thing I say is, today is amazing. Why? You ain't putting your negativity on me. Or when somebody comes up to you and go, oh, you look sick. Actually, I feel fine. Why are you saying I look sick? Like, don't put that negativity on me. Don't put your stress on me. Don't put none of that weird shit on me. Please and thank you. You got to really keep people with that energy at a distance. Now, again, we're talking about managing energy and perspective. A lot of times, people just making small talk. But what happens is words have power. If you start to absorb and believe what people say to you, what happens? You become that. So you might be feeling fine, but if somebody says to you, "Oh, yo, what's up on TikTok? How you doing?" If somebody says to you like, "Oh, Diva, you look sick today," I'm like, "Well, shit, am I sick? Do I feel sick? Like, what's going on? Maybe I should check my." You can't absorb that. You feel fine. You keep moving. Actually, I feel fine. You have a great day. Learn to shut it down. Learn to put the negativity away. Learn to put people to the side, because if you do not, it will consume you. It will absorb you. It will 100% absorb you. So now let's get into it. Let's talk about grind time. So I know when you talk about motivation and you talk about pushing past your obstacles and you talk about just really going hard, like, I don't know if people really know what going hard is. I really don't think they know. Because it's levels to this shit, right? So there's going hard, like you're having a rough time, you're working your butt off, okay. And then there's like this other level. It's the level where you're going so hard that everybody thinks you've absolutely lost your mind. You're going so hard, everyone thinks you're insane. You're going so hard, you're not sleeping. You're just so focused and you're so driven and you're so locked into your goal that the people around you don't even understand why you're so locked in. That type of grind is the grind that gets you to the next level. There was a point in my life where I thought I was going hard. Now, if you've been following me for around on my platforms, I've always had like a crazy drive, work ethic, always a strong hustle, right? But the past few years have shown me I don't go hard as I think. You know why? Because I've met people who go a lot harder. I've met people who are willing to sacrifice and do more. There are places, and I'm not talking about negative shit here, right? I'm talking about people who are willing to forgo sleep, people who are willing to forgo a family vacation because the goal ultimately is going to help improve the life of everybody. I'm talking about that type of go hard. I'm talking about giving up. I'm talking about sacrifice, go hard. I'm talking about no quit, nose days off, go hard. There's levels to the go hard. There are levels to the grind time. And a lot of people think they go hard, but they don't. But they don't. They think they go hard, but they don't. So this is the thing. When we talk about going hard, yes, I know everybody's gonna be like, oh, Diva, well, what about, self-care and mental health? Yes, y'all know I'm a fan of self-care. Yes, I'm a huge component of people taking care of their mental health, but sometimes you gotta suck it the fuck up and get it done. That's it. You gotta suck it up and get it done. There's no time, there's no breaks. You gotta push. And some people, when they get there, it gets real uncomfortable. It gets very uncomfortable. Hell, I want you to think right now, when was the last time you were like truly uncomfortable in your grind? Like truly uncomfortable. And you're like, you don't know if this is going to work out. You don't know if this is going to play out right. Like, when was the last time you were truly uncomfortable in your grind? You know what I'm saying? Like, go to that moment. Remember how that felt? Remember how it was like no quit, no surrender? Remember how you stayed up for 16 hours because you knew if you didn't and you didn't finish the paper or you didn't finish your presentation, you would lose a lot. I'm talking that type of grind. I'm talking that type of sacrifice. When was the last time you were there? Now, is that a place you can live 24/7? Absolutely not. But I'm going to tell you something. And me and a friend of mine were talking, and I was like, I do my best work under pressure. I do. I have all this inner dialogue that goes on, all this in and out. Dave, you might as well stop this. Nah, keep going. Dave, you gonna mess it up anyway. Nah, keep going. But you know what that dives into when we talk about that relentless grind, right? My favorite word, discipline. Discipline. Doing the things that must be done even when you don't want to. I feel like I talk about that all the time. Discipline, doing the things that must be done even when you don't want to do them. That's what I'm talking about. That level of discipline, that level of grind. I can't even tell you the last time, especially in the last 6 months, that I've had more than probably 6 hours of sleep. I can't. It's not by choice. There's just a lot that has to get done, and no one can do it but me right now. So guess what? It's grind time. I'm in my winter season. I'm in my hustle season. I'm in my go-getter season. And once you're in that season, there's no quitting. There's no stopping. There's no surrender. There's none of that. It's all gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes. I'm talking that level of hustle, that level of grind. When was the last time you were there? Because let me tell you, there's something that happens in that space. The discipline is insane. You start to feel and do things that you never thought possible. You start to realize that you are capable of so much more. You start to really believe and dig deep. I'm telling you, I get chills when I talk about this shit. Chills every time. I feel it on such a deep level. The more you lock in to that discipline, the more you lock into that hustle, the better your life will be, the more fruitful your life will be. That's what's important. You know, everybody, when I coach people, a lot of times they really don't have any issues. And you're probably like, Diva, why would you say that? You're a life coach. What do you mean they don't really have an issue? Unless they legit got some deep rooted trauma, they don't have an issue. What they have is a discipline problem. What they have is an accountability problem. That's the problem. And their lack of discipline and their lack of accountability keep them from doing what's next. So when we talk about being in that grind and we talk about being focused and we talk about being driven, a lot of times ain't nothing wrong with y'all. Diva, you're being insensitive. No, I'm not. I'm going to tell you right now, and I've said this before, there are real people out here with real problems and real mental health issues. Most of you, that ain't your problem. You have a lack of discipline and a lack of ownership, accountability. That's your problem. You don't have issues. You're lazy. You're unmotivated. You're not focused. That's your problem. Yo, I'm telling you, if you're watching, we're in the Do Work podcast. You can subscribe on Spotify. Don't worry, we still in here. We got 15 minutes to go. Don't worry. You can subscribe to us on Spotify, live on YouTube, Facebook. You can also get the podcast on Apple. I do not save these. You must subscribe to Spotify or Apple Podcasts to get the replays. But your issue most times is that you don't have discipline or accountability. Your life is not hard. Your life is hard because you're undisciplined. Your life is hard because you don't want to make choices. And choices suck. Choices suck. Nobody wants to make the tough choices. Let me tell you something. There are times where I'm in my office and I'm working on some shit. I don't want to make the tough choices, but they have to be made. They have to be made. So before you go, and again, I coach a lot of people in different aspects for different things. They don't have no real issues. And if any of my clients are watching, they're probably like, Diva, I can't believe you said that. No, literally, most of your issues are going to go back to a few things. And I'm going to start with 2 right off the bat. I'm going to say it again. Is discipline. Is your self-discipline, your ability to do what needs to be done when no one is holding your head. And the second thing is accountability. Being accountable for your actions and owning your own shit. The hardest thing to do is own your shit. It hurts. It's painful. It sucks. It's the hardest thing to do is own your shit. It's the worst. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to admit they were wrong or made a mistake. It's a lot easier. And this goes back to like how the brain works and what it requires work to do. And what it's a lot easier to be like, wasn't me, wasn't my fault, not my problem, when it probably is your fault. And if you're in it, potentially your problem. A lot of you don't have the issues you think you have. Discipline, accountability. Nobody understands me. I love when people say that to me. Oh, Diva, but nobody understands me. Nobody understands what I'm going through. They don't. But they don't have to. You want sympathy. You know, sometimes people think I'm a hard ass, but fuck sympathy. Who cares about it? You're not going to get it. And as much as I say that, I say all the time, I don't have too much shit, but when shit hits the fan for me, it usually hits pretty hard. And when it hit hard for me this year, I literally had to step back and say, this person does not owe me sympathy. They don't owe me shit. They don't owe me a thing. This is what we did. This is what we agreed upon. Here we are. Dave, what you going to do about it? What you going to do about it? But you got to take some ownership, man. You got to take accountability. You have to be able to wake up and say, I messed up. I will do better. And before someone says, oh, I don't want to talk down on myself. It's not about talking down on yourself. It's about owning it. One of my favorite things that David Goggins says, and if you don't know who Goggins is, you need to look it up because you're probably living under a damn rock. But if you get a chance, read his book, Can't Hurt Me. I talk about it a lot. But he said something that was so awesome. He said, you know, you may be getting bullied because you're fat. He said, but the truth of the matter is, you may be fat. Now, somebody may say, Diva, oh my God, that's so mean. Listen to what he said. You may be getting bullied, but that may be what you are. And it may be something you want to change, but you want to hide behind. It goes back to discipline and accountability. You know, a lot of the guys that I listen to and look up to in the coaching space and in the motivational space, they're hard asses. They are. And I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of it. I'm a hard ass. I think it's because my mom was a hard ass. But, you know, there's a point where you have to just really be like, things are what they are. Either you're going to take the steps to change them or you're going to shut up. You're either going to do something or you're either going to do something or you're going to do nothing. It ain't even about this, right? It's not even about the talking. It's not even about the words. You're going to do something. You're going to take an action and institute some level of change. But until you take said action, there will be no change. There will be no change. There will be no change. So I say to you, discipline, right? Discipline and accountability, probably your problem. I want you to really think about that. So when you wake up tomorrow, shout out to TikTok. I'm shooting a podcast, TikTok. That's why I can't go live with y'all right now. Discipline and accountability. It's one or the other. Most times both. Most times it's both. Most times with y'all is both. You think it's one, but it's both. The hardest thing to do is admit that you messed up. The hardest thing to do is own your shit. And the biggest and toughest step to take is taking that step to do more, to be more. Like when I say it all the time, and you know what's funny? Nothing changes unless you do, and nothing changes unless you do the work. So until you take that step, nothing's happening. Not a thing. Nothing's changing. So if you're at a place in your life and you're stuck and you're stagnant, you really need to ask yourself like the real questions, like not the fluff shit. Like, what are your goals and where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'm talking about no. I'm talking about the real stuff. I talk about this in the Do Work method. The word why, right? It's annoying as hell. Think about it. Children, especially when they're young, they are the best at this. They are so amazing. They are so inquisitive. And I love it because as we grow and become adults, we lose that. You ever tell a kid to do something? Yo, what's going on? You ever tell a kid to do something, the first thing they say to you is why? You're like, they're running around the house like a lunatic, doing laps. You're like, sit down, little Jimmy. Little Jimmy's like, why? And then your response is, because I said so. And Jimmy's like, why? And it goes on and on because little kids will why you to death. They will why you to death. But really what it gets down to is this. When you start to really assess your why and your root reason, the more you go down the rabbit hole of why, you start to find those answers. You start to find that discipline. You start to say, oh, that's what it is. Like I had to ask myself recently, I really wanted to get back in to boxing on a regular basis, not to compete. I just really enjoy it. And I couldn't make time and I couldn't figure it out. And I kept saying, I can't make time. I can't make time. I don't have time. The truth of the matter is this. You have time for whatever you want to make time for. You will make time for whatever you want to make time for. I am exhausted. I am tired, but I've been making time to box. I've been making time. It's important to me right now. I'm making time. Whatever you want, whatever really just kind of resonates with you, you're going to make time for it. You're going to make room for it in your life. But ask yourself, why? Why am I not where I want to be? Be real. Maybe you lack education. Maybe you lack resources. We'll just say it's education. Why am I not where I want to be? Honestly, be honest. I'm not smart enough. And again, it's not about talking down on yourself. It's about being honest with yourself. True story. I think this was last year. I can't remember when. I have a follower. This guy's been probably following me. He's actually annoying as hell, but he's all right sometimes. He's a little douchey, but I don't care. I can handle that. So I was doing some stuff, posting pictures, and this guy who follows me, he goes, Diva. And I'm talking about real truth, right? He was like, what happened? You got fat, right? And I looked and I laughed. And so I went, and I was dealing with the gym. This might have been 2 years ago. I don't know. I was dealing with the gym. I wasn't able to work out as much. I was building a business, hiring, firing, all this fun stuff. Now, mind you, I was about to be upset, but he was right. Maybe he should have been nicer. Maybe he should have been more delicate. Maybe he should have spared my feelings, but he didn't. Thank you to the asshole friend. I appreciate you, bro. But it made me become aware. Doesn't matter how busy I get, I still have to make time to take care of myself. So Let me ask you this. When it comes time to own your shit, truthfully, how hard is it for you to do it? How hard is it for you to do it? If you can't admit when you're wrong, you will get nowhere in this world. And not even just the world, you're not going to get anywhere with yourself. If you can't stick to and become disciplined, TikTok, TikTok keep trying to get me to go live. I'm almost to you, TikTok. I'm coming over there. I got you. If you're not willing to be disciplined, you will not succeed in life. If you're not advancing, it could be a lot of things, right? But I guarantee you, your discipline is a huge part of it. Is a huge part of it. It's your discipline. It's your ability to do the work day in and day out, even when you don't want to. Yo, if y'all don't take anything away from me tonight, you got to take this. You got to take this. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't want to. Matter of fact, if you hear what I'm saying, I need you to send that to me in my DMs on Instagram. You can DM me on TikTok. Remember, discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't want to. 100% transparency. I did not want a podcast tonight. I am tired. I'm tired. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I am tired. But I made a commitment. I made a commitment to this process. I made a commitment to share knowledge. I made a commitment to make sure I can help people improve their lives and change in whatever way they see fit. So you know what that means? Tired Diva comes home and she podcasts. Because I have a bigger purpose, a bigger vision. Discipline, doing the things that need to be done even when you don't want to. Do you know how much I want to go to just, I am so jealous of people who go to happy hour. Who has time for happy hour? I can't even tell you the last time I've been to happy hour. Like, how do y'all do it? I'm always at work. Like, how do y'all do it? I'm always at work. How do you find time for happy hour? I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Discipline. Accountability. These are not fun words, but they're very real words. They're words that I need you to hold on to. I need you to remember. And especially discipline. Discipline is huge. Discipline is huge. Huge. Do the things that need to be done, even when you don't want to. And once you lock in the discipline, you know what creeps up on you? Consistency. Because now you're just doing it because it's habit. You're doing it because it's habit. Consistency. Day in, day out. Consistency. No excuses. Consistency. Everybody you look up to, everybody who you're like, oh, they're so cool, they have all this stuff. They have a level. You know who's disciplined and consistent and has vision and he weird? Elon Musk. He is weird. Bro is weird. But he is consistent. He is driven. He has discipline. From a young age, he was like, I want to build something that goes to the moon. So regular people, like, this is from day one. All these people that everybody's like, oh, You hate them, you're mad at them. You're just mad it ain't you. I know I hurt somebody's feelings with that. I'm not jealous of Elon Musk, Diva, or Jeff Bezos. Yeah, you are. You mad it ain't you. They figured out something. They figured out the sauce. They figured out the formula. They figured out how to make it work. And they tackled it day in and day out. Every time you listen to, oh man, I'm telling you, I know there are a lot of great people out here to listen to when it comes to speakers and coaches and all that. But like I said, I am a fan of all the hard asses. And when you talk about discipline and being relentless, I am a huge fan of Dan Pena. Now, if you don't know who he is, he has to be one of the crudest, rudest, meanest, chauvinistic, might even say he's racist. I don't know. I don't even care about that. My man's relentless. He's driven. He's old as nails, still waking up early, working late, grinding away, building, creating, educating younger people in his methods, which are a little crazy, but whatever. There are people out here who are doing it and getting it done. Why not you? Why not today? Why not now? And when you go to bed tonight, I really want you to think about that. Why not you? Whenever I start to second guess myself, because regardless of what you may think, there are days I second guess myself. There are moments where I question, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? But then there are things that keep me motivated. There are things that keep me driven. There are things that go, that's why. That's why I'm doing this. Remember your why. I told you, it goes back to the why. Ask yourself, why? Why do you want this? Why do you want to accomplish this? What do you want from it? What do you want from this life? All that can be answered through discipline and accountability. Diva, how's that going to make me find peace and prosperity and better connect with God? Discipline. Constantly talk to God. Talk to him daily. Pray. Whatever that is for you, whoever your God is. Be consistent in that. We talk about financial discipline, investing, saving on a regular basis. I'm telling you, discipline's the answer to everything. I'm telling you, people are going to be like, can I go to the bathroom? Are you disciplined? That's going to be my answer. Are you disciplined? Discipline is the answer to everything. Discipline and accountability. That's it. There's no secret sauce. I wish I could tell you that, this is the answer and this is how you win at life. Well, if I could tell you, it'd be this: discipline and accountability. The people who win are the people who show up every day. The people who win, they show up when there's one person on the live. They show up when there's 100 people on the live. Problem is, y'all waiting for an audience to co-sign. You don't need an audience to co-sign. I love to tell the story. Before I even had a gym, I used to teach classes for free in the park. Nobody showed up. They didn't. People show up to where I have now. Don't wait for people to co-sign on your greatness. Just be great. I'm going to say it again. Don't wait for people to co-sign on your greatness. Just be great. That's it. Day in, day out, discipline, accountability. That's how growth happens. That's how change happens. And it goes back to what? Doing the work. I say it all the time to you guys. And I know it's going to be one of those things in 5 years. Everybody's going to be like, Diva been saying that forever. And I'm cool with that. I ain't got to get it all right now. But I want you to remember this, because I need to go to bed because I have to get up at 3. Okay? Look, you want to win? Get disciplined. We talked about this. What is discipline? I'm going to say it again. Doing the things that need to be done even when you don't want to. Doing the things day in and day out even when you don't want to. And once you start doing that, you start to build the best thing ever, the habit of consistency. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're working. You're pushing. You're going. And when you start to become disciplined and consistent, self-accountability comes into play. You hold you responsible. You don't need nobody to put their foot on your neck. You got your foot on your own damn neck. And last but not least, you're going to wake up every day and just do the work. Do the work. Please, no excuses. Stop talking. Do the work. Don't tell me what you think you're going to do. Do the work. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. If you don't take nothing away from me, discipline, consistency, accountability, and do the work. All right, I got to go to bed. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Do Work Podcast. The Do Work Podcast is weekly. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe, download, share with your friends. Take these messages, put them out there. Why? Because nothing changes unless you do. Nothing changes unless you do the work. Let's go.